What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Pleeka. I'm Jerome.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're here to talk about Arrow Season 6, Episode 2, Tribute.
I didn't know what it was titled.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So just like with Flash, I wrote down a couple of notes on here. Not too many like I did on Flash, but we'll get into that, and then we'll get into the episode like normal.
Okay.
So my first thing I wrote down was the new intro with all like the Team Arrow's logos. That was really cool. Kind of unexpected. I thought they would use the new logo last week like they did on Flash and Supergirl.
Yeah, I didn't even, I like missed, I saw the tail end of it.
Oh, yeah, they showed like, I think it started with like Wild Dog, and then it even showed like a little eye for Oracle, and they just kept going through and all that. Or Overwatch. I guess she's not Oracle because that's Batman. I said I liked all the scenes with Oliver and William. I thought I was a little worried, kind of like you said last week, about Oliver and his kid. I didn't know how they're gonna go. I was hoping they'd be fun, and like unique, different to the show.
Right.
And they were. I like that. I liked his son's backpack. I think I need to steal his son's backpack. That was pretty cool. It'll be interesting, like in the crossover.
Don't even need a backpack.
I know, but I would just want it to hang up in my room. But it'll be interesting, like in the crossover, because his son loves the Flash. Like, if that plays into it at all, like any part, because I mean, at some point he's going to the Flash's wedding at some point.
They certainly play up to it.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's like their excuse, like, oh, we get to make more Flash merchandise, because like you know they're selling that on their site because of that.
Yeah, probably.
So next I put the fight scene with the Markovians was really cool. The one where they went and like, Arrow caught that kind of fire. Like I thought it was funny. There's multiple scenes where they go in and fight the Russians, and Arrow I guess he doesn't kill. He takes down like 20 guys, and then Team Arrow like fights together and takes down like 5 or 6. Just takes in a couple.
Well, yeah.
And he's taking down like a whole army in like the kitchen and then out in the one other area.
Well, they have to make up for Diggle not taking down anybody.
Yeah, I know that.
Who's now Arrow?
Yeah.
Sorry, you said you were gonna get into it.
But well, I guess we'll just get into that. I'll do my
no,
last
you
one
can,
later.
no, you can do it.
Why are they one left? But lastly, it was cool seeing Diggle with that. Like they said this episode he's got nerve damage.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's gonna get like a really annoying storyline that I just don't care about, unless it does play into the fact because now like you said, he's Arrow now. That'll be interesting.
Well, yeah. So he went to go talk to him to tell him.
Yeah,
that he's
tell him
having issues, and he's like, "Nope, you're Arrow."
And he's like, Diggle's like, "What? Never mind. I guess I can't tell him now."
Yeah.
Because like I don't think he had a plan B. But you mean how long do you think that's gonna last? Him being
Episode.
I'm hoping, because they do this type
Like
of shit, like where it's like a cool idea, like, oh, someone else is Green Arrow now, and we know eventually Oliver's going to be Arrow again. But I'm hoping it lasts like at least 2 episodes, more than just one, like a one-off. Oh, remember that time Diggle was Arrow? You know?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be more than one.
I don't think it will be either, but I'm really, because
I mean,
it'll surprise me if it is more than one.
If you think of it this way, so the FBI comes and they're going to investigate.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we think you're Arrow. He was still Arrow and disappeared 2 more times in that episode.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, really? Like,
that's my last thing I wrote down is I wonder how the FBI storyline is going to end. Because, like, it doesn't seem like it's just, like, a little thing to happen, like, now. It seems like it's going to be affecting at least the first half of the season. It's going to be a big storyline. So, it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out.
The lady, well, I don't remember her name, but the lady that plays FBI, she seems like she's not fucking around.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I like her in a bad way, I guess. Like
I do too. She's not likable.
Yeah.
She's just against the main guys. So we're like,
Right.
oh, I hope you don't get him in trouble.
But yet you kind of root for her a little bit because she seems.
Yeah, I feel like eventually, maybe her and Oliver will be together. Like not like
sexually.
Not sexually.
Oh.
But like working together, because they don't seem like they hate each other. They kind of seem like he's like, I know you know I'm the Arrow, and like you know what I mean. So it seems like eventually they might like team up or something. I don't know, or resolve it together.
Oh, maybe.
But I don't know. I have no idea how that storyline's gonna end.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It kind of feels like they've done it before, but they haven't.
It's funny because they kind of, I mean, something like this has happened like every season, like with War. Now War is the Green Arrow, or I guess it was just Arrow at the time, stuff like that. But they kind of just played it off this episode like it's the only other time it happened was in season 1.
Right.
And I kind of got the vibe too when when he was in his mayor office and he was talking to, I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy who plays Wild Dog. he was talking. He's like, oh, okay, you go out the back, and I'll distract him. Whatever. It reminded me of like season 1 where he was like duck and diggle, like he was going out back and all that way, like escaping, and now he has to do that from the FBI.
Yeah.
But he had plenty of practice doing that with Diggle, and I think there was that one other security guard like in episode 1 before Diggle.
Oh yeah, like he lasted like a scene. Or
Yeah,
something.
then he quit when he got back home.
Yeah.
But I think this season will be really good, at least like different than the other ones. Cause like, well, I mean, first of all, no flashbacks, so they have way more time for storylines. Which it seems like they're really taking advantage of that with like, they have a separate storyline with Diggle. They have the FBI thing now. We don't know who's like released that picture of Arrow.
Right.
Which I'm assuming is going to be either the main bad guy or Ben Linus from Lost.
Yeah, that's what. Well, you just assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, and like, well, I guess like so Diggle is this big black guy, and now you're just supposed to assume that he's Arrow. Like the FBI is like, oh, it's him.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like that part I don't get, so I don't understand why.
Well, I don't think he's not making Diggle Arrow to make the FBI thing differently. He's making Diggle Arrow, so he's not part of the team anymore. He's with his son. He's done crime fighting. Is why
like he's not gonna help at all. Like
for the next episode. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I took with that, because like I think they did that on purpose. They had Diggle say, "Oh yeah, we already thought of that, and that won't work for the FBI." And he's like, "Oh no, that's not the case." He's like, "The city needs someone to be Arrow. I just can't be Arrow." But then by the end of the episode, I think probably next episode, the whole team will find out about Diggle's nerve damage and all that. Either Black Canary will tell everybody, or he'll have to tell them because something goes wrong in a mission.
Right.
And then Arrow will be like, all right, well, I'm Green Arrow again.
I could see something going wrong, he getting caught, and then he has to come back.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen. And it'll be like the tail end of the episode, and then we'll see Oliver back in the hood, probably like at the last shot of the next episode.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So I kind of liked, back to like him as a parent, that scene with him and Wild Dog, and they're in the office talking. And he was just basically saying how anytime he goes out, he could die, and he'll, like, his son will be over. And then, it's funny, I liked that scene. And then I was thinking when he was telling Diggle, like, yeah, I can't let my son lose the last parent he has, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking, well, what about Diggle Jr.?
Well, yeah, that's what I was
like,
thinking, too.
I mean, I know he has a mom, he has Lila, but still, that kid could lose his dad. That's important.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking, too, is he's like, now I have someone else. And I'm like, well, he's got 2 other people.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, and I was surprised Diggle didn't be like, yeah, no, I respect that, Oliver, but I got a kid and a wife back at home.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they'll do that next episode at all, or,
I mean, I think it's just one of those things for Oliver. But he always had his sister, his mom, and his dad. Well, he didn't have his dad, but like, you know what I mean? Like he always has something to lose.
Yeah. And like that person's always more important than the other people's person.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to see more Black Siren this episode, like to see what was going on with it, like who picked her up, maybe like a little tease to that or whatever.
Oh.
Like I wonder how long until we have to find that out.
I thought you meant Black Canary. I was like, what? She was in
it? I like that she's in it, because like when they introduced her last season, she wasn't in it that much. Like we got little bits of her here and there, but I like she's like a big part of it. She's basically Diggle's Robin at this point.
Yeah. No, and she's basically doing more than he is.
Yeah.
I mean, every 5 minutes he's like shaking.
See, that's the thing. Like I get, like I wish like now we would just deal with like the storyline of it, but literally every single fight scene you have to watch Diggle pull out his gun, shake a little bit, put it back, and then fight the bad guy.
It's almost like it's out of like Hot Shots or something. Like it's a spoof movie.
Yeah, it's very goofy. And then and then you look over and you see Black Siren or Black Canary looking at him like,
beat this guy up now.
Yeah, although I really, really was expecting. I thought like because like they do things quickly on these shows. I thought when he was aiming the gun at Black Canary and all that, I thought he was gonna shoot and then be like, "See, I'm not that bad" or whatever. Like talking to her, then it would
hopefully he would have had a better joke than that.
I don't know, but I expected them to kind of resolve it and then like kind of deal with it slowly. But
no, yeah,
I was very surprised that they kept it going.
He was gonna shoot that guy.
So what were some things that you liked about the episode?
To be honest, well, I like the fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think this episode was as good as last week's episode.
I can see that, but last week's like that had so much. At least for me, you just watched it like a couple weeks ago, but so much anticipation on like what was going to happen and all that.
No anticipation.
Yeah.
I just barely got caught
But
up.
but and it has to resolve the previous season. So like the first episode and the last ones are always going to be really good, at least in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
Unless you're Supergirl, but we'll get into that in Supergirl.
Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. Is like so Arrow. I thought it was really good the first episode, and I thought this episode wasn't bad, but I just nothing really stuck out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Supergirl, they just both sucked, and then but then they did.
Yeah, they were terrible.
And then I liked both of Flashes. So
yeah, I think so far of all the shows, Flash is the strongest this season. I think.
so I mean, it's only been 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Supergirl could win.
Supergirl and Legends have been really lame lately. Although there's some things they're teasing in Legends that get me excited. But so on Arrow, how do you feel about Anatoly? Like, do you think he'll be?
I was almost disappointed in him.
I kind of was too, because I really liked. Like, that was some of the fun stuff about, like, I think it's the season 2 flashbacks is like Oliver and Anatoly together and all that. I like
got a feeling like he's not. It's gonna be something where he's doing it because he had to, and then they'll end up being cool at the end.
Well, yeah, I don't think either one of these characters will die, so it'll have to be some other resolution to fix like their feud.
Oh yeah,
Because they're both such major characters in this universe.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I think eventually it'll lead to them both taking down Arrow's big bad, whoever he is.
Big bad.
Like I forget his name, but the guy from Band of Brothers. I think it'll lead to them taking him down. Is what I would assume.
You think he's gonna help him take him down?
Yeah, I think like the last 5 to 6 episodes of this season, they'll team up and do that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Although I really do like him though, so it is kind of neat seeing him be like, oh, screw you, Oliver Queen.
No, yeah, the dude's likable.
Yeah.
You know, so
and it's especially because it is cool, almost like in Deathstroke, except this guy's had it a lot longer. That like you got to see him be Oliver's friend, you got to see a lot of him, and then boom, now he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's a bad guy that you like, just like with Slade Wilson.
Yeah, but see, I never liked Slade Wilson.
Oh, see, I love him. Like I'm excited. I think it's episode either 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 is a 2-part origin story this season of him.
I mean, I don't not like him. I just always thought he was a bad guy.
Oh, well, yeah. See, because when I watched the first season, I was like, I could have sworn Deathstroke was a bad guy, but I didn't know much about comics or anything at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So then when I was like, oh yeah, he is a bad guy. Like I thought they just changed it for the show and he was gonna be on Team
When
Arrow.
I watched it, you were like, that guy's Deathstroke. I'm like, oh, so he's a bad guy. So like the whole time,
yeah,
it's a different perspective.
Yeah, it's true.
It'd be like it's like playing Telltale when you're hanging out with the Joker, but his name's not the Joker.
Oh
yet.
yeah,
I mean?
and I know this guy's gonna fuck me over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So any last things you want to say about Arrow before I wrap this up? Like anything you're looking forward to this season, or anything this episode that made you want expect that in the future?
I wonder where that Felicity and Mr. Terrific thing's gonna go. Like, is
Yeah,
that gonna show them like doing a business or something? Like,
yeah, that'll be interesting.
I don't,
especially because they mentioned this episode like what free time.
well, yeah, and it's not like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this, and then they just mentioned once. They like talked about it several times.
Yeah. Oh, they have I guess not plenty of time, but they have more time now that they're not doing flashbacks. Like they could have 1 or 2 episodes where the side story of the episode is them building their business.
Yeah, and I like both those characters. They're funny.
Yeah.
And
I
stupid.
don't know why it really cracked every fight scene. Like I like Mr. Terrific. I think his little T-spheres are cool.
Mhm.
But every fight scene when he throws the balls at the guy's head and catches it back, and then another guy comes, he throws it again and catches it. I just find that really funny. Because it looks so goofy. And then I thought of this, because this episode, he threw it and then put it back down here, and then got another one, threw it, and then put it back here, and then turned around and walked away. He's got no pockets or anything, so he's literally just it was all CGI, and he just let go there and did nothing and walked away. But he doesn't have anywhere on his body to hold him. Well, because I was wondering, I was like, where the fuck is he getting those from? And then
he just reached down and grabbed his balls.
I think it was last year at Comic-Con. Someone asked them, and they didn't answer because they didn't have an answer. They asked, how does Mr. Terrific, every time they suit him, how does he braid his hair so fast? Because it's like he's got normal hair, and then it's braided back every single time they suit up, and they're like, that's one of his superpowers, actually.
Like, really? Someone asked that?
Yeah.
So stupid.
That's what they're like,
that's what I'm worried about.
That's just one of his superpowers. One last thing I do want to say, too, is, so they had all those guys in the big building in that Oliver was trying to sell or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you want to give us answers about Oliver Queen being there, blah, 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 blah. And then all those guys get kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Green Arrow saves them. And, they're in a room with him with light. You can clearly see he's got a goatee. Wouldn't you be like, oh, yeah, the mayor's got the same goatee. Yeah, that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow.
Yeah, apparently it's a hell of a mask. It only
'Cause,
covers
like,
half his face.
He literally only covers his eyes, and he has a hood covering his hair. He's got a goatee, and none of those guys, because like you'd think in a season where like, oh, that's the thing, is Oliver Queen Green Arrow, they'd be like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it was literally like 5 minutes later. No,
yeah.
I know. That part's kind of stupid, but you kind of have to get over that.
So anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. I'm looking forward to next week, though.
Yeah, me too. I think next week will be really interesting. I will be very, very surprised if at the end of next week's episode, Diggle's still Arrow.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It-
But it
I'll-
looked like they're gonna do some cool shit with him. So.
Yeah, I liked how in the trailer they didn't show Oliver at all, and it's just him, and they even had the little joke where he's like, yeah, let's go, and he's like, is that his version of Suit Up?
Yeah.
Like it didn't show Arrow at all.
No.
So it'll be really interesting what next week's is like.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Yeah. But all right, so that's it for this week's Arrow review. We'll be back next week for next Monday, Supergirl, Tuesday, Flash, and then Thursday for Arrow. See you guys next week.